We're outside of the Cabinet of Ministers in Simferopol, the regional capital of Crimea. The new authorities here have decided to hold a referendum on whether Crimea should be a part of Russia. As you can see behind me, the Ukrainian flags that once flew here have been replaced by Russian flags. Now, the rest of Ukraine and most of the international community believes that this referendum is illegal. That hasn't stopped pro-Russian forces here from pushing forward with plans to break away from Ukraine. Volunteer militia members who've formed so-called self-defense units joined activists for a march through the city in support of Russia's annexation of the peninsula. Men carried shields and shouted "Glory to Russia" as the region geared up for a vote which outside observers see as a farce. Russians from abroad, including armed Cossacks, have flooded into the peninsula, setting up patrols and guarding the regional parliament building.
I'm a Russian citizen, yet there were never any borders for the Cossacks. We keep in touch with Zaporozhian Cossacks and often visit Serbia. All Cossacks are brothers, we are free. There are no boundaries for us. The main thing we care about is our brotherhood, so it is very important for us to help each other.
But the referendum and the Russian military presence are being met by stiff resistance from Ukrainians and Crimean Tatars, a Turkic minority who were forcibly expelled from the peninsula during the rule of Joseph Stalin, but have partially returned since the fall of the Soviet Union.
I'm here to protest against the outrageous events in Crimea. I'm a Crimean Tatar and a citizen of Ukraine. Crimea is my historical homeland. It is a place where my ancestors lived for many generations. I don't want blood to be shed here. I want to live in Crimea in peace with all the other nations. We can deal with our problems on our own without guns and military forces. Conflicts in the civilized world have long been settled by dialogue. I do not want to solve our conflict under the guns of the occupation. I oppose the referendum. In my opinion, Tatars are not given a voice on this issue. The referendum is already illegitimate.
Tatars say they see Russia's military incursion as an act of aggression that could extend further into Ukraine.
There
are more than 300,000 Crimean Tatars living in Crimea. No one ever reckons with us. No one is ever concerned with our opinion. I have no idea what Putin's intentions are here. One thing I know is that our nation has been driven out of our homes. We have no other homeland. All my friends, all the people I know here, say that this time there will be no exodus. We will stay right here in our homeland. Surely what is happening now is an occupation. This is an outrageous violation of international law. There is no legal framework in the world that can justify these actions. If Kiev and the international community allows for this to happen, then Kiev will be next, and then all the other countries as well.
То, что вот сейчас происходит, то следующим будет Киев, и следующим будут все остальные страны.
The referendum presents voters with two choices: join Russia or gain de facto independence from Ukraine. There's no option for Crimea to maintain its current status. The Crimean parliament voted to hold the referendum after its leadership was reshuffled by force late last month. The Ukrainian government, much of the international community, and many Crimeans see the leaders and the ballot as illegitimate and say they won't stand to see the peninsula taken illegally.
My father is Russian and my mother is Ukrainian, the same with my husband. We want to live in Ukraine, in a country which is just now emerging. We do not want to live in a country which marches its army into the neighboring territory without permission.
Vladimir Putin has said that Russia must act to protect Russian speakers in eastern Ukraine and in Crimea following Ukraine's revolution. But many who live there say there's no need for such protection, and that Russian speakers, who make up the large majority of both Ukrainians and Russians in the region, are in no danger.
I work in the sphere of education, and I know that out of 600 schools in Crimea, 14 schools hold classes in Crimean Tatar language. About 7 schools hold classes in Ukrainian, and all other schools, which is about 550 to 570, conduct training in Russian language. In the meantime, all higher educational institutions, all the universities in Crimea, give their courses in Russian. So is there really any prejudice against them?
Opinion polls suggest that Crimeans who favor annexation may actually be in the minority, but they have the backing of powerful forces in Moscow. With the results of the referendum looking more and more like a foregone conclusion, the crisis seems set to intensify in the coming days and weeks. For JN1, I'm Chris Collison with Vasil Mamilin in Crimea.